It's important that fans know that we get a lift from seeing our green and gold in the stands.
Passionate, tough games. They're on our soil and we want the 3 points.
Come watch us play against Japan and create another memory of Socceroos history.
Brilliant stuff from the Socceroos. What the emotion must be like to score for your country in a key World Cup qualifier. Oh, onto a crossbar by Matt Ryan. Aiden Frostage. He makes no mistake.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us here in Sydney for today's Socceroos squad announcement press conference with the head coach of Australia, Graham Arnold. As we commence today, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of this land and pay my respects to the elders, both past and present. We have some media joining us online via Zoom today, and there are others obviously physically present in the room here in Sydney. So if you are joining us, if you could please just raise your hand. We have the boom mic for questions in the room, and we also have the raise hand function on the Zoom. Graham, can I ask, just to start, if you can give us a few words about your squad and the upcoming window against Japan and Saudi?
Yeah, look, it's great to see you all. It's been a long time that I think we've had a press conference live, but also, you know, during the 4 years that I've been in charge, we've had minimal times in Australia. But look, it's an exciting time for myself, but also for everyone in Australian football. I think that this will be a unique experience next week at Stadium Australia, where a stadium that's always brought us has a great history there, and I know that the players are in a great state, and I've spoken to them regularly during the camps, and it's an exciting squad and one that we're looking forward extremely to.
Open for questions here in the room. Maybe start with Tom Smithies.
Graham, there's a few surprises in there. How bare are the stocks, if with all due respect to Bruno, you've had to call up a 34-year-old for his first cap?
Yeah, look, obviously there's some fresh faces, great, you know, some great opportunities for some younger players. You can see it's, you know, there's quite a number of the Olyroos players that I coached Tokyo that are in the squad. In the situation with Bruno is obviously Adam Taggart is out injured at the moment. So Bruno's, for me, has been, I know he's just got citizenship, and we're still working with FIFA to get the release that he can play for Australia, and we do expect that in the next few days. But you know, in the last number of years, Bruno's been a star of the A-League and has been a great goal scorer in the A-League. He's got a great reputation of having a winning mentality and a fighting mentality, and he's still doing the same at this moment in Perth Glory. So, you know, he's a great character, and it's one that's to have a great that type of character in the squad around the younger boys.
David Martin.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, just is Bruno in the squad to play in the 2 games? And I'll just have a follow-up question once you've asked that.
Yeah, look, he's in an extended squad, and I can give you the reason why the squad is extended for this window. Number one is still down to COVID reasons. You know, if we get any cases of COVID during the camp, that we have those players there and ready. And number two is the amount of yellow cards we've got, because we've got 6 players on 1 yellow card. If they get the second yellow card, then they're suspended, and so therefore having those extra players in. We're checking on Matthew Leckie. He's in the squad. He brings great experience into the squad, especially in and around those younger boys. So the purpose is Bruno's in the squad because of 2 reasons. One is great player, and the second reason is to play.
So that's confirmation. Yeah, he will play. Okay.
Yeah.
Could I ask you then?
We're looking at him, yeah, to play.
Could I ask you, there has been some criticism of the selection of Fornaroli for 1A being older and there not being the other options within Australian football. Could you respond to that?
Well, at this moment, you know, got Mitchell Duke. Jamie McLaren is available for the first game only. He plays, he'll be again, he's available for the Japan game. And then Jamie's getting married. So, you know, then you look at, okay, what's next? And Nick D'Agostino, we've got in the squad, a youngster doing extremely well. And then you look at what's next. And if you look on the leading goal scorer list here in the A-League, you know, you've got 4 Australians and 1 foreigner. Michelazzi from Newcastle, that that is in second spot, and then Bruno Fornaroli. So we're picking players that are in form and players that have got a lot of match minutes and a lot of energy. And you know, people can say that he's 34, but you know, last campaign Timmy Cahill played at 37.
How do
Tom Bossy, yeah.
how do you envisage using a player like Fornaroli in his style? And also, what was the conversation like with Bruno to bring him over to Australia?
Oh, it was amazing. You know, he's probably player number 4 in the last couple of years that I've worked on to get to, from playing from another country to get to play for Australia, after Martin Boyle, Harry Sutter, Gianni Stesnes, and now Bruno. That Bruno was just so ecstatic for the news. He feels Australian because he's been in Australia that long, and the pride that he had when I told him that he was in the squad and how proud he was. And you know, I visualise this thing with him that you know, he's a player that can score in any position, any situation. And I know that his energy that he'll bring in will be great for the rest of the group.
Anyone else in the room? Yep.
Yeah, I think you've called it a win-win window, this one. Just how confident are you that you've got the players to beat Japan and Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, look, I'm very confident. You know, I'm excited, extremely excited about the 2 games ahead. And when I say it's a win-win opportunity, I see it in the way that we've tied up 3rd spot already. We've got that. That's exactly what we did in 2018. We went through a playoff, and this is an opportunity now that you know, the players go out on the pitch and give it everything that they've got, with the freedom of knowing that that 3rd spot's tied up. So at the moment, it's about you know, in my view anyway, it shouldn't matter which squad I select, because at the end of the day, whichever player I put on the pitch, he goes out there and gives it, you know, all he's got, 100%, and makes sure that he leaves nothing on the field, and he gives a performance of energy, but also work rate and fight. Because you know, when you look at the main things, the technical side, they have what they have. I won't get any time to work on that. On the physical side, they're all in good shape. They're playing a lot of match minutes, and they're physically good. Tactically, I'll get 1 training session. And so therefore, for me, it's all about the mental aspect. And it's the winning mentality of going out on the pitch and doing Australia proud, going the Aussie DNA way, and that is win at all costs.
Arnie, a bit of bad news with Aaron Mooy in the week ahead. So he's out with COVID for both games. Yes.
Look, you got to, first and foremost, my main concern for Aaron Mooy is his health and making sure the kid's okay. I spoke to him only 2 nights ago. He's still rocked by it. He's okay, but he's still rocked by it. But there's one other situation you guys probably need to understand, is that Aaron is in his off-season in China. He's in Scotland. He's not in China at the moment. He hasn't kicked the ball properly since the Oman game because he hasn't. He's in his off-season. So the role that he probably would have played if he was fit and ready, that we already discussed, would have been probably something off the bench, like he did in the first 2 games in September. And he was working hard individually on being prepared for that. But then when COVID hit him, only last Friday, it knocked the energy out of him. And he feels, after the conversation I had with him, that he wouldn't be ready for these 2 games. So the most important thing for me is that the kid is fine, and he's got a beautiful family and a wife and children, and making sure that they're all well.
Graham, can you just talk about the challenges? You've said you've only got 1 training session. You've got a squad of players, a core of which are familiar with your style, and you bring in someone like Fornaroli. What are the challenges to try to bring him up to speed to the sort of game that you want to play?
Well, I think he will, you know, as a number 9, and experience even myself playing number 9 years ago, is that it's probably the easiest position to connect with the rest, because he does what he does, and it's the players who are feeding him. But again, it's I just see something completely different in Bruno that we don't have, and that's with the back to play, the way he holds the ball up, the way he shields the ball, the way that he wins free kicks and he scores goals. And and I only see a massive positive in bringing him into camp now.
Graham, partly thanks to COVID, there's a lot of kids in the A-League have had their opportunity the last 2 years, and you've picked quite a few of them. Is that almost a silver lining to what's happened?
Well, yeah, it's as I said, I went to the World Cup in 2018, and I knew that Timmy Cahill, Mark Milligan, Mile Jednak, Robbie Cruz would not make this World Cup due to age, and I had to replace them from somewhere, and that's why I did the Olympic team. And when you see the number of Olympic boys in this group, and if you add Riley McGree and if you added Harry Sutter in, you're talking nine youngsters from the Socceroos, and it's the only way we can develop and strengthen the Socceroos squad is from the development system below. And you know, the Socceroos is really the icing on top of the cake of the system. And so to have those young boys who've gone through the experience with myself and Rene Molenstein and the staff of going to the Tokyo Olympics, they know exactly what we want from them, especially mentally, and what our expectations are of them. And they bring a lot of energy into camp, and you know, they're knocking on those older players' shoulders because they want those starting positions.
Well, Arnie, just on Nick D'Agostino, you couldn't really leave him out, could you? Because he's kind of flying, and how good to have someone who's so confident coming to camp.
Yeah, exactly, and especially after scoring 2 goals against Vissel Kobe the other night, and I spoke to him yesterday to congratulate him on his selection. And again, it's you know, 2 years ago, Nick wasn't even getting a game in the A-League, you know, up at Brisbane, and it wasn't until we took him away to Cambodia that you saw this kid that had potential as a striker, and then he went and got us qualified in Thailand, and he loves being the star of the show, Nicky, and I can see him being the star of this show.
Dom?
Only a player that a lot of people are talking about in over his Christian Volpato over at Roma. Look, he's not in the squad. He hasn't played that much senior football, but is, you know, certainly capturing a bit of attention. Where's he at in terms of his international future? Has there been any discussions since the last window with him?
I've had a number of discussions, like I do with all the players, Dom. You know, this Christian is a great talent, and he's playing under one of the greatest managers ever in Jose Mourinho. And you know, he hasn't played or been in the first team squad for the last few weeks. But look, the kid is focusing on his own club career, and you know, I've spoken to his dad at length, and it's an important decision when he makes it. But is it the right time to throw the kid in now with these 2 important World Cup qualifiers? Is probably the answer is no on my side of it. And so the most important thing for the kid is to keep improving as a player and keep doing what he's doing, and get more match minutes in Italy, and then we can take it from there.
Has he shown any appetite one way or another of playing for Italy or Australia?
Well, I think that appetite is there. You know, again, he wouldn't, if he wasn't really that keen, he wouldn't pick up the phone to me, and he wouldn't probably, you know, text message me twice a week. So he's a great kid with great communication, and as I said, he's a talent that's there.
Honey, how do we measure up against Japan? I think over there it was a couple of defensive mistakes pretty much that cost us. How do you see this game going? Is being at home get us over the line?
Well, not just being at home. I think it's the will and the way that the desire from the players to go out on the pitch and for 90 minutes run till they drop, and really put the pressure on the Japanese players, because you know, it's when you give quality players time on the ball or give them an opportunity, then they can do things, but we won't do that. I expect us will be in their faces for 90 minutes. I really appeal again to our 12th man, the crowd, to get there in numbers, because you know, you could see when we played Japan in Japan, it was the first time that there'd been a louder crowd in the stadium. They started well with the energy from the crowd that gave them, and they finished the game well with energy because the crowd was behind them. That's the importance of what the crowd can do to the performance of the players. And again, you know, we get a very good crowd on Thursday night. They'll be our 12th man, and it'll give our boys even more energy to fight that whole 90 minutes, and I expect that every time they put that shirt on.
Tom Smithies?
You mentioned you're losing quite a few leaders after the 2018, and certainly over the path of this qualifying. Is funnily enough one of the reasons you brought Bruno in, because he's got that sort of personality, and you have struggled, particularly second half, in some of the games on this campaign.
Yeah, look, it's as you said, it's you know, losing those, not losing those four. They got to an age where they were retiring, so it was about them replacing. And you know, we've got some good leaders that are still learning to lead on the way. But you know, it's again, it's more about our performance and our energy, and making sure that when we go on the pitch, that we win all those 1v1 duels. It's 11v11, and it's 11v11. It's a 1v1 battle over the whole pitch, and we win those 1v1 battles. Again, the old Aussie DNA way, we win the match.
Any final questions from in the room?
Yeah, I mean, a few of the players have changed teams, like Milos Degenek and Arnold and even Marty Boyle. Does that change how they come into camp? Are they firing at the moment? Where they are?
Well, I think they're coming into camp with more energy. Not Boyley. Boyley always has crazy energy, and he was highly valued at Hibs, but he's gone to Saudi Arabia, where he's enjoying life enormously over there. Milos Degenek and A were on the outer at their clubs. Milos at Red Star Belgrade and Mobil at Midtjylland, and now they've gone to teams where they're highly valued by the coaches and the clubs. And Mobil put in a fantastic performance last week and scored a great goal. And Milos Degenek, you can already see he's one of the leaders at Columbus. So it's great for those guys.
Okay, if there's no further questions in the room, we'll wrap it up.
It's important that fans know that we get a lift from seeing our green and gold in the stands.
Passionate, tough games. They're on our soil, and we want the 3 points.
Come watch us play against Japan and create another memory of Socceroos history.
Brilliant stuff from the Socceroos. What the emotion must be like to score for your country in a key World Cup qualifier. Oh, onto a crossbar by Matt Ryan. Aiden Frostage. He makes no mistake.
Bruno Fornaroli, thanks for joining us. A huge congratulations on your maiden Socceroos call-up for these massive World Cup qualifiers versus Japan and Saudi Arabia. First of all, how does it feel to be included in the squad?
Oh, thank you very much for your words, and you know, I have a great feeling. I'm so happy, you know, at the same time it's crazy because, you know, in my age, 34, all my career, like, I try to do my best, and this massive opportunity come now is crazy. So, but I'm trying to enjoy the moment and of course be ready to give my best.
And you'll probably recall a good 5 years ago there was an April Fool's prank from Melbourne City that said that this was going to happen, basically predicted the future. I mean, when did you first realise that this was a real possibility and actually could happen?
Look, yes, I just friend sent me that picture. I remember actually that day because I'm a good friend with Aaron, and I asked him for a shirt. I say, look, please bring your shirt back because I want it, and for me, like, it's a beautiful shirt, you know. And I remember that day, many friends take a picture and put it in, and was a little bit joke, but in that point I say, why not? Maybe one day. But I think in that point I was talking with the lawyer, and you know, we say will be not possible because the FIFA rules, maybe you're not allowed to play. So was a little bit like, all right, just finishing one joke. But look, football is like this, and this is why I love it. And you know, like I said before, now is massive opportunity, and I'm ready to take it.
Yes, obviously there was that change in the rules, and you got your citizenship finally sorted not too long ago. When did that then become realistic? What was that first conversation that said, hey, look, Bruno, you actually might get called up?
Yeah, it was a couple of days ago we started talking and start to speed up the process. on my citizen, and you know, and everything is start to say, all right, maybe it's true. But I try, you know, to don't lose my focus in my club, to obviously to show like I can be selected. So for me, that was my first thing in my club, do my best, so I can give reason to be selected. I try also to don't be so excited, you know, until like the coach called me and say, look, you will be in the squad, and in that point, like everything, like say, wow, now it's reality. Now I have to do everything, and you know, now I think I live in a dream actually, because like I said before, all my career I wait for a moment like this, and for sure will be the biggest moment in my career.
You said social media, things move fast. There's been a bit of chatter around already. Has there been any talk with people back in Uruguay or former teammates or friends that have found out about this news?
No, this morning when I wake up with the, you know, different times in even with Sydney 3 hours in front, and you know, I wake up to prepare my kids for the school. My phone was full of messages from friends and family, and how you don't say anything, and you know, you keep quiet. And you know, I didn't say actually, because the first reason was I want to make sure I can be in. But yeah, of course, friends, and I talked with my parents, and you know, everything was so fast. But you know, I'm so happy, and I hope we can do everything to make sure that Australia will be in the next World Cup.
Definitely, that's the plan. You know, you've called this country home for quite a few years now. You know, it took its time to finally get the papers done. But tell us a bit about what Australia means to you, and I guess with that, what are those emotions that you're going to be feeling when you finally get to pull on the green and gold?
Wow. Look, I think one word will say everything. Australia is home. It's the last 7 years. We when we just come with my wife and my little daughter, straight away people help us to feel comfortable here. We are very grateful with this country. We love it, and they born my son, so he's a real Aussie. And you know, I had many reasons for fight for this country. So like I say again, it's so important for me, and everyone have to make sure like I will put my heart on the field to try to help the team. Even if he no play or play, I will try to do it what I have to do inside or outside the field to like I said before, try to qualify for the World Cup.
Great to hear. We've got another young Socceroo on the way in the future, in a few years' time, with your son. You mentioned obviously you're happy and you're willing to contribute, however, on and off the pitch. Obviously, you're coming in at a very important time in terms of the qualification and you know the quality of these opponents that you'll be taking on. Personally, what are you looking to offer to the squad?
Look, of course, as a striker, you always need to score, need to bring goal to the team. But whatever the team need, I will do it. Doesn't matter if in some point I need to do another job, or like I said before, inside or outside, I will do it. Everything for the team. It's no about me. It's about to put Australia in the World Cup, and I think Australia have a very good players, and just to we need to confirm this in the next two games, and I hope we can be we can be in the next World Cup.
It links to that time, 4 years or so ago, around that Honduras qualifier. We were having a look back at your Twitter, and there were plenty of messages of support that you were giving to the Socceroos and a few of your teammates at the time. I mean, if that's anything to go by, I guess you've been following closely the last few years, and you sort of really know what this kind of qualification campaign is about.
Yeah, of course. Like I said before, even I asked for the share to Aaron, and be here for the last 7 years playing football in the A-League. Of course, you always are close to the national team and in the A-League in general. So also I need to mention Timmy Cahill, because he was one of the guys who helped me to take my PR in Australia. So I'm very grateful with him. And he is a legend of the national team. So imagine how close I am, and now be part of the national team is amazing for me, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, one last question. It's an opportunity that a lot of people maybe wouldn't have predicted recently, and that ties in with something people have been talking about on social media. I don't know if you're aware of the song "We Don't Talk About Bruno" from the Disney movie Encanto. I mean,
Yeah.
You've got a couple of young kids, so you're probably familiar with it. Are you a fan of the film? Is that something you've heard?
Yeah, it's very familiar, because if you have to say no too much, they start to sing that song each other together, because daddy say no to something. So imagine, for me it's very familiar, and also I have friends he sing that song for me. So yeah, I wait like the people start to say yes and instead of no, but it's something like was very fun to see.
It's very funny, and hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time, we might have all the Socceroos fans saying yes, Bruno, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. On that, one last thing. Speaking of the Socceroos fans, do you have a message directly to them as you head into camp and look ahead to these massive games?
Yeah, it's just what I say before, like games, Socceroos games. I just only hope that the stadium is like always. I want to have that feeling. I want to have that support behind the team, support the team, because for me it's an extra player. The fans, they are an extra player, and in these 2 last games, they will be so important for us. So I hope to see a full stadium and support us, and together we can win the first game and have the opportunity to go to Saudi Arabia to qualify directly to the World Cup.
Hi guys, make sure you get your tickets to the Japan v Australia game.
Here comes Jackson Irvine to smash it home.
Stadium Australia has been a classic venue in Socceroos history. I was lucky enough to be there in 2005.
He scored! Australia have done it!
And again as a player when we played Honduras in the Intercontinental playoff.
It is a goal that means the world to the Socceroos.
To come along and watch us play against Japan and create another memory of Socceroos history.
Stadium Australia comes up trumps again for the Roos.